Hey everyone, and welcome. Today, we're not just going to talk about exercise. Nope, we are diving into something much bigger, a blueprint for your long-term health. Think of it as an investment that pays you back for decades to come. So let's jump right in.
Okay, let me ask you something. What if there was just one habit, one single thing you could start doing that would basically future-proof your body and your mind? Seriously, think about that. What would that kind of investment be worth to you?
Well, it's not some miracle drug or a fancy new gadget. It's actually something super accessible to every single one of us: resistance training. You might know it as strength training or weight training, but at the end of the day, it's just making your muscles work against some kind of force. And let me tell you, the effects are, well, they're huge.
Now, I know what a lot of people think. Strength training. That's all about getting big biceps, right? But here's the thing. The real payoff, the most incredible benefits, are the ones you can't even see in the mirror. We're talking about what happens on the inside for the long haul.
Look, this isn't about becoming a powerlifter. Unless you want to, of course. It's about building a more resilient life, literally from the inside out. It's about making everything easier. You know, like carrying all the groceries in one trip, or keeping up with your kids or grandkids without getting totally winded. It's about being ready for whatever life throws at you today and 50 years from now.
All right, so let's get into the nitty-gritty, your body's long-term upgrade. We're going to look at the actual science behind what happens when you start putting your muscles to work. It's pretty amazing stuff for both your body and your mind.
First up, your physical body. Think of strength training as building a suit of armor, but from the inside out. It literally makes your bones denser, which is a huge deal for fighting off things like osteoporosis. It strengthens all those muscles around your joints, which protects you from injuries. And get this, it even improves your balance. That's so crucial for staying independent and mobile as the years go by. It really is your body's best defense system.
And it's not just about the physical stuff, not even close. Your mind gets a massive upgrade too. We're talking about a serious mood boost, better sleep, and a real shot of self-confidence. Some studies even suggest it can help keep your brain sharp and fight cognitive decline. Plus, when you're physically stronger, you just have more gas in the tank. You don't get tired as easily, which means more energy for the things you actually love to do.
Okay, so when we say resistance training, what are we actually talking about? Does it mean you have to go live in a gym? Absolutely not. The great news is there are so many ways to do this. Let's check out the toolkit. Seriously, you've got a ton of options. You can go the classic route with dumbbells and weight machines, sure, but you can also use things like resistance bands, kettlebells, even sandbags. But you know what the best, most accessible tool is? It's the one you have with you right now, your own body. Squats, push-ups, lunges, these are ridiculously effective, and you can do them literally anywhere. No gym membership required.
All right, so we've covered the why it's so good for you, and the what it actually is. Now for the big one, the how. How do you actually start? Don't worry, we've got a super simple, totally non-scary blueprint right here.
First things first, let's get the lingo down. You're going to hear two words a lot: reps and sets. A rep is just doing an exercise one time. So one squat, that's one rep. A set is just a group of reps you do without stopping. So if you do 10 squats and then take a breather, you just did one set of 10 reps. See? Super simple. Knowing that is half the battle.
So, what's the game plan for a beginner? The official advice is actually really straightforward. Start with a quick 5-minute warm-up to get your body moving. Then, just pick about 8 to 10 exercises that hit all your big muscle groups. For each one, just do one set of 8 to 12 reps. That's it. Aim to do this 2 or 3 times a week, but make sure you don't do it on back-to-back days.
And that brings me to something that's absolutely critical: rest. Here's a little secret. You don't actually get stronger in the gym. You get stronger when you're resting after the gym. That's when your muscles repair and rebuild. You've got to give them at least 48 hours to recover before you train them again. Seriously, this part is non-negotiable if you want to see results.
Okay, so you've started. Awesome. But what's next? How do you keep the momentum going? Because this isn't a 6-week boot camp, it's a lifelong journey, and every good journey needs an engine. Let's talk about what powers your progress.
The big secret, the engine of all progress, is something called progressive overload. I know, it sounds super technical, but the idea is dead simple. To keep getting stronger, you just have to gradually make things a little bit harder for your muscles. You've got to give them a reason to adapt. That's what forces them to change and grow stronger. So what happens when you hit that inevitable wall, that plateau where it feels like you're stuck? That's when you use progressive overload, and it's so easy to do. You could add a tiny bit more weight. You could try to squeeze out 1 or 2 more reps. Maybe you add another workout to your week.
Or you could just swap out some exercises for new ones. It's all about changing things up just enough to keep your body guessing.
And as you get more comfortable, you can start really tailoring your workouts to what you want to achieve. Let's say you want explosive power for a sport like tennis or basketball. You'd focus on just a few heavy reps. If your main goal is building muscle size, that's called hypertrophy, that sweet spot is right around 6 to 12 reps. Or maybe you just want endurance, to be able to go for longer without getting tired. Then you'd use a lighter weight for more reps, maybe 15 or more. This is how you become your own personal trainer.
So there you have it. The why, the what, and the how. You literally have the blueprint right in front of you to build a stronger body and a sharper mind for the rest of your life. The question isn't if you can do it anymore. The only question left is, what will you build first?